Die Sprachübertragung beginnt jetzt. Alle Teilnehmer befinden sich im Zuhörermodus.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our webinar. Oh, sorry, I did not have the start slide once again. Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our webinar. The topic of today is creating low barrier PDF documents with a PDF compressor. I will talk about low barrier. This may be a funny word for some of you, but we'll find other words like accessibility, more accessible, and things like that.
I still don't see your screen.
Then maybe I should.
Maybe you need to go and show my screen.
No. This is better. Okay, sorry again. So this will be the topic of our webinar today. I will do it together with Armin. Armin is our CTO, and he's a technical guy, and he will also introduce himself in a minute. My name is Thomas Zillman. I'm here for sales. I'm long-term here since 16 years, also in the former company, and now we are part of the Foxit group, and we are sitting here with Foxit Europe in Berlin, Germany. So you may hear my English is hopefully not too bad, but not perfect or native, but I hope my information is understandable. I'm also in a side function, the managing director of the PDF Association, and I think this is also very important because Foxit is a PDF company and the PDF Association covers PDF ISO standards like PDF-A for archiving and for today especially PDF-UA, which is universal accessibility. So I will hand over to Armin for a short introduction by himself.
Yes, thank you very much, Thomas, and also a warm welcome to our audience from my side. As Thomas already mentioned, my name is Armin Ortmann. I'm the CTO of Foxit Europe, not of the entire Foxit development team, but of the team over here in Berlin, Germany, which is responsible for developing PDF Compressor and our rendition server product. And in this role, I am going to give a short technical presentation where I show how to create tagged and accessible PDFs with PDF Compressor from scanned documents and how to inspect the created tagging and information for accessibility. Also a few technical remarks. That's always my job in the course of a webinar. You may have noticed we have all participants on mute. That doesn't mean we don't want to hear your questions. It rather means please enter the questions in this questions entry field of the GoToWebinar software. We will strive to answer all questions that arrive in the course of the webinar publicly, but judging from experience, we're not always able to do that. Also, some questions may require a very detailed answer, maybe very specific. We would then get back to you in the aftermath of the webinar with an answer. And of course, if something comes up in the aftermath on your side where you say, well, that would have been great to ask as a question during the webinar, don't hesitate to contact us. The webinar will end with our contact information. So please just give us a call, send us an email. We're glad to answer all questions. And also, we'll make a recording of this webinar, which will be available to all participants, as will be the slides and on request, the image samples or file samples shown here. And last but not least, we're going to show a short questionnaire at the end of the webinar. So once our show is over, please hang on for 2 more minutes and give us a short review in the form of a few concise answers to our questions, which helps us review our performance and improve for future webinars. So thank you very much. That's it for now from my side, and back to Thomas.
Yes, thank you, Armin, for the introduction. Yes, for the whole, let's say, short agenda for approximately 45 minutes. So I want to start with 2 slides to give you an idea what Foxit offers on PDF solutions. Then I want to cover the topic of accessibility in an overview or with some hopefully interesting aspects. And then, as Armin just said, he will do the live demo, so you will really see PDF Compressor in action, but also other tools like the bug checker, which is a free tool in order to check for accessibility of PDF documents. So for short overview of Foxit company, so as you can see with a world map, Foxit is a worldwide company, very strong in North America, strong in Asia, and a little bit newer, but also now very good represented here in Europe, with Foxit Europe sitting here in Berlin. This is a one flag, and other countries like Spain, Belgium, and things like that. So this is that you have a large company. We have also over 200 engineers, so we really have resources, manpower to develop good and innovative products, and overall it's over 300 employees. And I think we can honestly claim that we are the number 2 of this world's PDF solutions vendor, so that's our mission. So if you think, or if you have any PDF challenge, requirement, solution to implement, then please think of Foxit, contact us. Very often we should have a good solution for you, maybe not all the time. So obviously there are some competitors, but I think we are always worth a contact, and we hope I or my colleagues can convince you that we have the good solutions. We have the 450 million users, so which is also based, to be honest, on the free Foxit Reader, which is an alternative to the Adobe Reader, but this is a very well accepted PDF viewer, PDF reader with some very nice features, where I especially love this OCR feature when we talk about scanned documents. And the overall goal is to have PDF solutions which are faster. Let's stick to the Foxit Reader. So this is where we have also get good feedback from our users that, for example, Adobe Reader in a Citrix terminal server environment is quite hungry on resources, and Foxit Reader does a much better job here. So he takes less resources and very fast display of product. They should be more efficient and obviously secure products, and we also want to develop innovative PDF solutions. So this is the overall, in one sentence, Foxit equals PDF. When we look into the product line, then I think we can really offer a complete product line of PDF solutions here, and we split it into 3 major parts, which are also typical for the environments, configurations you have. So the one side is called personal productivity. So very simple. This is a client PC, whether it's in a terminal server or whether it's a laptop, a normal laptop. So we have the Foxit Reader, obviously, as I just mentioned, and the presentation you are seeing is obviously a PDF-A file, and obviously you see it in Foxit Reader. And then one of our flagship products is Phantom PDF. So this is a complete PDF editor, a cost-effective alternative to Adobe Acrobat. And you see obviously mobile solutions. So we have a lot of mobile solutions down to, let's say, very specialized solutions like the redactor for Office. So if you need to do reduction, delete sensitive data out of PDF documents, then the redactor is a good choice. Then for the professional solution, this goes to the server side, and also some long-term customers of PDF Compressor are attending this webinar here, so they know the PDF Compressor, very good tool to compress, convert scanned and bound digital documents, and obviously we'll come back to that later, especially when Armin will do the demo. And another product, which we also have for more than 2 years now, is our rendition server, which is a web service for a central conversion in a whole enterprise. To try to make it in one sentence, not the topic of today, but also a very interesting product, which can help you to implement and realize any conversion solutions. And then the third line of products is what we call the developer solution. So you see very often the 3-letter item SDK. So this is a programming library, and this starts with a full PDF SDK. So if you maybe a software company and you want to build your own ERP system and need to generate PDF invoices, orders, things like that, then this is the one, and it goes down to smaller ones, obviously on the website, but also there's a lot of libraries available down to very specified or specialized versions. So, for example, if you have the need to add a watermark into a PDF file, then there's a small watermark library. So this is a very small and solution. Okay, for coming into the topic of accessibility, and this is what I call an overview, and also I want to explain the word, what we mean by, or what we define by low barrier. So obviously, and we will not be able to cover this, but just to, likely if you attend this webinar, accessibility is a very wide topic. So it's for handicapped people which need assistance, and this goes from physical assistance. So you all have seen that there are ramps in front of government buildings for wheelchairs, and now every underground, at least in Germany, must have an elevator also to bring a handicapped person down to the level where the train goes. So this is a large area where a lot of things are done, but this also, and then it becomes more interesting here for this attendance group here, up to the IT. And very often it's a requirement in the government. So this is not an option, it's a must-have. And also private companies want to do this just to serve all of their customers. Also the handicapped customers will also see there are more benefits in having good PDF documents which are accessible, but they allow for extended usage. And we call it low barrier. So obviously, the goal is to have full accessibility, or barrier-free, if you like this word, but it's more an English word, not an American word. And this is what at least government companies very often do and try, because they cannot reach 100% accessibility for all documents, things like that. So they take it as an intermediate step, as an intermediate goal, in order to have at least a high level or a higher level of accessibility, make things more accessibility. And the reasons are quite often, sometimes it's technically not possible, and on the other side, we'll also see this with scanned documents, it may be very cost intensive. So it's simply too much money to make it full accessibility. So, and then when you look for the rules, but this depends a little bit in which country you're located. So for the United States and Canada, the buzzword which describes the requirement for accessibility is a Section 508. In Europe, I don't have a full overview here. If you're, for example, from Sweden, there may be different rules than in Italy. In Germany, we have something which is called BETV. Doesn't matter, or you don't need to keep this in mind, but this is a rule or a description, specification, how to do websites, web pages, so that in order that they are accessible. But this does not really care, and very often a website contains a lot of PDF documents for downloading. This does not really cover PDF documents, and this is where PDF UA comes in. And PDF UA, this is the ISO standard. So maybe if you have looked a little bit into PDFs, then there's PDF itself as an ISO standard, not belonging to Adobe anymore. There's PDF-A for long-term archiving. There's PDF-X for printing. And then PDF UA. UA is universal accessibility. This really defines how to make a PDF document full accessible. You see the ISO standard number. You don't need to remind that one, but you can see it's already 5 years around, so there's already a lot of experience. There are a lot of tools which help to do that, and a lot of documents are accessible. Yeah, you get hopefully good information here in our webinar, but I also would like to recommend the PDF UA in a nutshell from the PDF Association, where Foxit is also a very active member. You can have a free download of this 20-page brochure, and this really, if you read this, if you work it through, then it really gives you, I think, a very good overview up down to details, not to all technical details, but I think you have a very good feeling. When we talk about accessibility, then the classic example is a blind person. So this is very easy to have a figure or to have an idea. So think of a blind person. He can simply not read this brochure, which I just mentioned. He needs help. He cannot see the images. He cannot see the text. So the typically solution is a so-called read aloud software. So there's a software which reads this, but the software needs hints. What is it? And very simple. If you think of this one, you can have, if you look to the red title, then this is the title. So the read aloud software should know this is the title. There's an image. The blind person cannot see the image, so he needs an alternate text, a description. What is this image? There's a logo, so there's also, you cannot see the logo, so it's a good idea to have an alternate text to say this is the logo of the PDF Association, and maybe those are subtitles on this document. Technically, the basis is rather simple. It's just one PDF feature which helps for all that. It's so-called PDF text, or some people call it tech PDF. So this is exactly what you have to do. You have to write those texts into the PDF file. And as my example, so you have the title or you have an image description. And then also a very, yes, let's say common or famous sample, think of a multi-column newspaper. Then it would not be helpful if the read aloud software goes from left to right and then the next line. This would screw up the text. So the read aloud software, well, there should be a tag to say, here's column 1, here's column 2, and read in this order. So that's the main idea. As I said, it's not only for handicapped people, it's also, let's say, best practice, good behavior to create high quality PDF documents. The quote for this was, PDF UA is not only politically correct. So our former chairman of the PDF Association, Mr. Grunzer, said it. He's the CEO of Compart, and his company is doing multi-channel output. So he started, let's say, some years ago where an insurance or a bank had to print 1 million letters, paper letters to their customers, but also in output, the times have changed. People want to send emails, people want still to send paper, but people also want to go to mobile devices. So I want my insurance information on my iPhone and Armin wants it on the iPad. And as you know, this is different sizes. And as you also know, if you have a very detailed GE general terms condition document with a very small font, it's not really fun to read this on an iPhone as a PDF file. And this is where good PDF tagging comes in. This is also the, I call it the secret to present the PDF documents better on mobile devices. So if there's a proper tagging, then you can do things like reflow, so to adapt it to the screen size, whether it's the iPhone, whether it's the iPad or Android device. Not too much commercial for Apple here. And then it's also very often discussed. So this is a very good basis. And then very often in discussions, in meetings, customers are asking me, okay, I have one logical document. Do I need 5 versions? Do I need a PDF A version? Do I need a PDF UA version? Do I need a PDF X version? No, this is not necessary. You can really do it in one document, and this is what the small graphic tries to say. So you know, hopefully PDF-A for long-term archiving. This comes with different technical levels. So B is like basic, so this is not accessible at all. With A level, you can do text, but, and this is what the brackets say, PDF-A may have text, but you can do very simple text, so this will not really help. With PDF-UA, and this is like a, not a subset, a superset, you have to do more, and with PDF-UA, you must have those texts in order to make the PDF document fully accessible. And this is also not something which you have to do on your own with very detailed and deep technical text and technical description. So if you have a good PDF solution, this should do this for you. And I have one example here, which I will show you very nicely, just to show you how this can work together. So if I open this flyer here, then you already see in Adobe Reader with a blue line, it's a PDF-A file. So it's the info line, the blue line. And if you go to the info button, which talks about conformity, so it's German, but then you can see this file is both in one file. So it's a PDF-A file 2A, very specifically, and it's a PDF-UA-1 as well. So this should give you the idea. The same is true because this is a flyer which we also printed. You can also have a PDFX file, which is typically or the standard for printing PDF documents, and this can be a PDF-A file at the same time, or it could also be 3 types in this case here. Go back to the full screen. So that's where tools help, and this is also a selection criteria. So this is where products really differ in this. We will talk about scanned documents in a minute, but also let's say one slide for the what we call the born digital world. And here, again, I use the word secret. This is what I learned from the colleagues which are working have worked in a long time on this. This all starts with a well-prepared source. Then you are on a, let's say, easy way to get accessible. So, or the other way around, don't give your employees a Word file, a naked Word file, and let them start from scratch. There will be nothing, no title, no subtitle, no image description. So this will require a lot of manual after work. So the secret is this one. And just let us take the example with Microsoft Word. So if you have well-prepared templates, this is a very good start. So the template has already the sections, and the employee who works on the content should mainly add the text, the logical information, but not have to worry about the structure of this document. And also Microsoft, which is a large Foxit partner, offers what they call an accessibility checker in the newer Microsoft Office version. I think it starts already with 2010, but newer ones are likely also better in this functionality. But if you have, or if the user have completed the Word file, then you can check it with the accessibility checker, and already in Word you will see, hey, this may be problematic, this may be not okay, this may be not fully accessible. But when this one steps are followed, then the conversion to PDF UA, so to make it a PDF file from the simple save to PDF down to conversion tools like the rendition server, is relatively simply, and only a few issues may remain. And to check this for the PDF file, but you will see this in the demo from Armin, there's a PDF accessibility checker, which is called PAC 2. Now we're coming closer to the scanned world. So scanned, this is totally different than what I just said for the born digital. So it's really two different worlds. We start with paper, one piece of paper, 1,000 pages of paper. And the normal scan typically is one image per page. So the scanner takes the paper, makes the scan. It's one image, no structure, no logical information in there. So they are zero accessible. And then the conclusion is you need to do 100% manual and therefore very cost-intensive post-processing. And how this is done these days is typically that customers don't do it by themselves. So scan service bureaus very often offer the service, and I use 2 partners from us, so there are more, but just that you get an idea, and they very often call it tagging service. So that's the idea. So think of a government agency, they have to scan protocols, and then they have to present them in the web. So they give all the protocols, 20,000 pages, to the scan service bureau, and people sit down and make it accessible. And this is, for example, in the United States, Appligent, or here in Germany, a company called SRZ. And then now I will switch to Armin. He will show you live how the PDF compressor can automatically create, and here the word low barrier comes again. So the software cannot do 100%, but it will give you, let's say, 60 or 70%. And when you check this, then the manual work is only 30 or 40% left. So it's really reduced, and therefore huge cost savings. So I will hand over to Armin, and then he will do the demo for us. If I just switch in a second.
Yes, thank you very much, Thomas. Okay. Here we go. Hope you can see my screen already. Okay, I've prepared a few sample files, and once again, we're focusing on scanned documents here. So Thomas outlined what you can do in terms of born digital documents. Right now, the feature I'm talking about will not really help in tagging born digital documents, i.e. files saved from Microsoft Office or LibreOffice or InDesign or software like that. It is able to tag scanned pages inserted or attached to such documents. So if you have your, say, your CV saved to PDF from Word, and then you decide to attach a few scanned pages from reference letters, we would be able to OCR and scan and tag those pages in order to make them accessible as well. But right now I'm demonstrating this with mere image documents. For example, this one here, which is a newspaper page. Let me zoom in a bit. So it's a little old already, from the year 2000, and as you see, it has various font sizes here for the various headings, and it has a rather complex structure in terms of paragraphs, reading order, tables, images, and so on. That's our one example. The other example is already a PDF file. It's slightly more simple. It is a 3-column page from a magazine dedicated, I think, to race cars, drag racing, and hot rods. It has a less complicated page structure. Mostly has the 3 columns, this one image here, some light printed text on black background, and a few headings interspersed in the text. And as a third example, we have this survey document here, which is again a little different. It's a multi-page document, and as you can see already, it's also 2-column. It has diagrams like this with captions. It has a table of contents. It has a title page. So let's see how we deal with each one of them. I have created 3 jobs already in the PDF compressor. I'll start the one with the report right away because it will take the longest with its 25 pages. And we'll look at the settings here that are used for all 3 jobs, which is rather simple. To obtain a tagged document from a scanned document in PDF compressor, what you mostly have to do is you have to select one of the PDF A, 1A, 2A, or 3A output file formats. That will prompt PDF compressor automatically to insert tagging. Okay? In order to do that for scanned documents, you have to, of course, enable the OCR. So since all 3 documents are in English, I've chosen the language English and enabled the OCR. And that's all it takes for these documents to become tagged PDF. There is one more extra thing. If for some reason you cannot do PDF A, whatever, since tags are a general feature of all PDF formats, you can choose one of the more simple formats, such as standard PDF 1.6 here, and then you have among or under the advanced options down here, you have under advanced, you have this checkbox saying add structure tags for read out loud support. That will create the same kind of tagging without forcing you to create PDF A, 2A or something like that. But we clearly, these days with the functionality we have, we can clearly recommend using one of those output formats in order to create accessible documents. Mind you, we don't have PDF UA on this list since we are simply not capable of creating fully compliant PDF UA documents for now. But as mentioned before, the tagging we create is a great improvement, a great starting point for scanned documents in order to become more accessible, in order to become tagged PDF, and in order to be manually upgraded to the full accessibility of PDF UA. So let's see, we should be done here rather soon. And so what do you see when you look at one of those tag PDF documents? I'll wait for this one. Oh, well, I can start with this one. Okay. I'm going to open it in Foxit Phantom. What do you see when you look at these documents? Well, not so much. It says, well, it's PDF-A. We knew that before, but you must keep in mind the tagging is kind of under the hood. It adds additional information to the internal structure of the PDF document. It does not affect the visual representation. It does not add any colored boxes, any annotations, outlines whatsoever. You need specific software to make use of these tags or even to evaluate the level of accessibility that a certain document presents. And actually, Foxit Phantom by now contains the so-called accessibility checker here. And I'll just quickly run that. That presents me with a list of aspects to check in order to basically assert Section 508 compliant, as it says up here. So it's more geared towards the North American markets than towards the PDF-A or UA standards as such. But of course, it's still a useful thing to do. And this gives me this report. And actually, to make more sense of that, I'll have to open this dialog once again. So the lettering here corresponds to the checking options here. So text equivalence has passed. You see almost everything has passed. The item C, color information would merit a manual verification by the user. So it may be okay, but maybe not okay. And basically everything else down here is either not applicable. So for example, number N, forms. Oh, well, that passed. But number P, for example, timed responses, there is nothing in this document to check in that regards. Same as scripts, for example. PDF-A documents may not contain any scripts or animated content, so that's simply not applicable. And you can see from the ones that are applicable, we have passed most of them. So that's a good sign here in the first place. And to make more of the accessibility of these documents, I'll run them or I'll pass them to this PDF accessibility checker that Thomas already mentioned. It's by some non-government initiative in Switzerland with some sponsors that are listed down here. You can publicly download it. I think the link was in the presentation. It's freely available for private and commercial purposes. So, and if I drop this file in here, start checking, you'll immediately see these counters increase. And what you see is that we need to work on our natural language. That's something that we don't fully support yet. Every bit of text needs a bit of information as to which language it is from or it conforms to. That's of course important for screen readers, since the same written word may be differently pronounced, say in English, German, or French. You all know that probably from iPhones and other text-to-speech systems. If you choose the wrong language, all the person's names come out wrong, stuff like that. We'll work on that, but otherwise you see very few errors here, one warning, and a lot of correctly tagged bits of text. And one extra view that this tool presents or provides is this. I can navigate down this tree structure of text here, down to the text finally, and look at the rendering on the page. So you see the coming is marked in orange over here, and the events is the next thing. And this H1 tag tells us, well, this is a caption, a heading of level 1. Then we have this figure over here, and then we have headings of level 3 here. That's not so accurate, so the names of the writers of the letters to this magazine, they're interpreted as heading 3 text. That is something that probably would have to be fixed manually and probably needed to be seen in the larger context of the magazine's layout. If we get to the more complicated example of this newspaper page, again, I'll run this quickly and I'll use a different rendering that this accessibility checker provides. This is the screen reader preview. So this is the representation that actually a read out loud software would use of the document. So it now contains all the text fragments that have been recognized. So for example here, the entire title of the newspaper page. If we go back to that page here, we see that, come on. The Indianapolis Star, that's really like the heading on top of the page. And then you have this motto here and the date, and all of that is really represented here in this first section actually. And then you have rather well recognized or detected this first article, one for the books, that's the one over here. And it's followed, the heading is followed by an image. The image is actually comes with a caption underneath it, and so on and so forth. So if you look at that, really, you'll find that this box here has been detected rather correctly, and instead of switching, say, from this paragraph over here to this paragraph over there, it really respects the contents of the box and puts it all in one sequence. Same with the next article with this campaign donation set record. That's the one right here, you see. And so this progresses for the entire page, interspersed with figures which denote the actual images on the newspaper page. And you see that really most of the text has been detected and recognized correctly and has been tagged as text accordingly. Again, we have another heading over here. That's this former President Carter. And that is, his article is down here. Okay, and for the final example, that's the soil quality or soil structure report. That was soil survey, sorry, that's it. You see that again from the dates, it's freshly been created. I just ran it through PDF Compressor, and this, since it's a few more pages, it takes a little longer, but at least again, you see these counters rack up. And let me move that over here to the screen reader preview and have the document on the side for comparison. So hopefully that will make it a little clearer what I'm doing here. Okay, so okay, there we have this. First have the title page, then we have this how to use the soil survey, general soil map, and so on and so forth. Then we have another caption here, detailed soil maps, and so on. So again, this rather mixed layout table of contents has been detected rather well. Actually, again, a table of contents should be tagged slightly differently, but at least we have all the information captured here, and the text detected correctly, and it's a great starting point for a manual reviewer to finally put some finishing touches on that. If I scroll down further here, we have the summary of tables. Again, the heading has been recognized correctly. Then we have the forward. On the forward page, we have something, this signature has been detected as an image, and accordingly, the actual name and title of the signee have been detected as captions that might be corrected as well. And then we have this heading, and so on and so forth. You see, this figure, for example, has been detected correctly. Even the caption has been correctly detected. We see one final thing, maybe this running title here, soil survey. It should probably be excluded from the tagging, as it's of course a nuisance if this soil survey is always read out loud every second page in between the regular text, which this reading order would suggest. But the software has not captured that correctly. What it did, at least, is it excludes the page numbering. So it has detected the page numbering, and these items are in the text, so I can mark them as hidden text, but they are marked as so-called artifacts and are therefore ignored by the screen reader software for the benefit of the person listening to it, such that they don't get random numbers and title fragments interspersed with the text. So that's about what I wanted to show you. Again, you are of course encouraged to try this feature and to download this free software in order to inspect the results. And of course, if you want to also have the read out loud features, which both Adobe Reader and the Foxit Reader provide, in order to get an idea of the tagging. Thomas, anything you want to add?
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I want to add, obviously, I like the PDF compressor. So as you have seen, it's very simple. You just choose the A level and it's done implicitly or under the hood. For the demo, it's just boring. But Armin showed this. But as you have also seen, the pack checker goes very deep into the details. So this is what I heard from government agencies and others, is that not every employee can handle this. So the best practice is that most government agencies have some key users who really understand accessibility and rework or double check and make the PDF documents accessibility in order to fix that. The one question, Armin, was that how much time does it take? But I think the main piece is OCR.
Yes, that's true. We've had that question before. In fact, we've asked that ourselves in the development team, and we did a few experiments in timing. And since the hard part is actually the OCR. The hard part is detecting the page layout, finding where text is, finding out the order of the text, where the columns are, which words have been hyphenated and need to be put back together, and so on and so forth. The structure information is really more like a byproduct. So if you run the OCR, you more or less get everything we need to create these advanced structure tags, and therefore it doesn't create a noticeable performance overhead. It's hard to measure actually the effect, and the same actually holds for the document sizes. So the tagging we create here is not really increasing the document size. It's clearly an investment that's worth making, both in terms of time and document size.
Okay, thank you, Armin. Yeah, then I have one more slide, but we're also close to the 45 minutes as us. But for those, some of you use the PDF compressor already, but for those who may not have heard so far from the PDF compressor, just a short overview. So for PDF compressor, the main use cases are the digital mailroom. So a medium or large organization gets all those paper mails. Those do not go in the insurance via paper anymore. They are scanned immediately, and this is where PDF Compressor can help. Or you're a government construction agency and have, I don't know, millions of construction paper pages in the cellar, and this is also where PDF Compressor, well, as you have seen, can do high compression. So this is one of the highlights here. It's, as Armin showed us, full text searchable through the OCR, which is a large benefit, especially for scanned documents. And as you have also seen from Armin in the demo, it can do PDF-A in all technical detail levels. So that's obviously our commitment to the ISO standards and especially to PDF-A. And what we could show you today is that with this new functionality, you can save further costs with low barrier documents. So if you have this requirement, or whether your customers, if you're a scan service bureau, wants this, then you really get a head start. You get X percentage ready, and you do not need to do 100% manual after work. So then we are at the end. We would like to thank you for your attention. You can also see my contact and mail, or just write to support@luratech.com, which is a PDF compressor support. If you want a test version, please do not hesitate to contact us. Last check with Armin. Are there more questions?
Yes, in fact, we have two more questions. The one is, which versions of PDF Compressor support this? Well, this is a pretty recent addition, so you need to get the most, or you should get the most recent version. It's in there since version 7.7, but we have, even in the small updates inside the 7.7 version, we have improved this functionality, this feature, and therefore, please make sure to you get the most recent version to get the best results we can provide so far. And we'll, as I said, we'll further work on this to improve it in the next updates. And the second question was whether Foxit already provides software for manual post-processing in order to improve the tagging. Thomas, that's probably in your domain.
Yeah, but I wanted to add for the first question, it's a released product. It's not fresh from Armin's developer PC, so it's already released and, as he said, ongoing. And then for the tagging work, so obviously Phantom is a candidate for that, but it needs the next version. But this is to be released in October, so where the tagging functionality will be improved. So this is one when you have a complete need for the complete PDF editor and also want to work on those tags, but there are also very dedicated solutions. I know some of them from my work in the PDF Association. So one of our Berlin partners here is a company who is specialized on Adobe InDesign. So if you use, or if you have the need in your typically graphic and marketing department that your marketing documents are also accessible and use InDesign for creating such documents, then this is a very dedicated or specialized solution. Okay, then thank you very much again for your attendance. If you have a question in 5 minutes, please do not hesitate to contact us. We thank you again. We hope to see you in a future webinar soon. Thank you, and yes, have a good evening, good day, wherever you are located in this world. Thank you and bye-bye.